Good evening, hockey fans, and welcome back in to the neutral zone here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Wow, what a tournament it has been in the Olympics. The men's quarterfinals were this morning through this afternoon, and they did not disappoint. 3 of the 4 games needing overtime. USA getting past Sweden in a low-score one. Quinn Hughes playing the hero. Canada needing to come from behind in the third period to force overtime before advancing. We will be discussing both of those games, as well as then getting you set up and ready for the semifinal matchups against Slovakia and against Finland, respectively. And then tomorrow afternoon on the East Coast, tomorrow morning on the West Coast, USA versus Canada with the gold medal on the line. We'll be breaking it down. We'll be previewing it for you. All that and more coming up right here, right now on the Neutral Zone. Let's go. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome one, welcome all into the Neutral Zone here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. He is Freddie. I am Adam. So glad that you are here with us. Lots to get to in the show here tonight. Woo!
Adam, great to be back, man. What an exciting day of games we had today. Today started the quarterfinal action of the men's side, and I was trying to watch everything while I was at work today, and the amount of updates I was getting, and just the dramatic fashion that these games ended, incredible. One of the greatest days I think of Olympic hockey, with 3 games going to overtime. I don't think I've ever seen that before in the Olympic hockey tournament before.
This is what happens when you let the best players in the world compete in the tournament, is you get some absolutely incredible games. You know, you get the rough and tumble, you get the high energy, you get the excitement, and you get the down to the wire. You know, Quinn Hughes refusing to take himself off the ice and then hitting the winner. You've got Macklin Celebrini, openly admitting that he didn't realize that, I could let Connor McDavid go in the shootout. Oh, that's okay. I really wanted to take it.
Right.
You get these great moments when you let the best in the world compete at it.
I think so. It's been one of the most exciting Olympics that I have watched. I've only really tuned in to the hockey because that's all I really have cared about, especially with the NHLers coming back. But every game has been fantastic. We've seen a lot of guys that are making their mark in the NHL, really stepping up their game on the international level as well, even on some of the smaller countries that didn't have as many NHL players on their rosters. Still, you're getting to see some superstars and some guys throughout the league that are making themselves noticeable now. And man, it's been an awesome tournament. And then you talk about the women. We have the most dominating women's team I think we've ever seen in Olympic play. They're going to be going up against Canada for gold tomorrow. And Adam, we've talked about it before. This U.S. team, are they the greatest women's hockey team?
we're gonna have to have that discussion because it sure seems like it sure seems like they are, doesn't it?
Mhm.
That they are just having an absolutely incredible tournament. We'll get into that when we preview the women's game a little bit later in the show. But
Yeah.
let's start things off with the USA Sweden game this from this afternoon. This was the last one on the docket, and I commented with everything else that had been going on that it was, do not look past Sweden if you're Team USA. You know, we're so used to in the playoffs in the NHL, it's a best of 3, it's a best of 5, it's a best of 7, whatever have you in the playoffs. So you can afford to drop 1 or you can drop 2. This is more like March Madness, which is going to be just around the corner. You get one shot.
It's one and done.
It's one and done. And so you've got to be careful. You cannot overlook anybody in this tournament. And
I like you, Adam.
With that.
Yeah. I like you, Adam. Thought this was the worst matchup for Team USA was to play Sweden in the quarters. And it turned out to be that kind of game. I mean, I think they matched up perfectly with Team USA, and it came down to the wire with them scoring that late goal, forcing overtime. But yeah, I was a little nervous coming into this game. I would have liked to have seen maybe US get a multiple goal lead and see how that went. But man, they survived. They survived in a dramatic fashion. And I'm also glad now with one of the other games that happened earlier today with Slovakia, they're going to end up playing the U.S. instead of Finland playing the U.S. A lot of people thought Germany was going to take Slovakia, and then Canada would have played the lower seeded Germans. Mm-hmm. And then U.S. would have to play Finland right after playing Sweden. I think this is actually going to play in the U.S. favor, and I think they have a good chance of beating a young, inexperienced Slovakian team.
That will help. Yes. Yeah, that will absolutely help that the draw works a little bit in their favor. Oh, let's face it. We all were looking forward to seeing Connor McDavid versus Leon Draisaitl too. That's, everybody.
Oh yeah. Let's go. Are we going to get into the whole bridesmaid thing? Matthew Tkachuk and his talking on Leon Draisaitl, calling him a bridesmaid. That was awesome. A little chirping never hurt anybody, especially, with their history in the NHL and the Panthers eliminating the Oilers the last 2 years in the Stanley Cup final, and then USA beating Germany in the round robin game. So I thought that was awesome. Everybody north of the border didn't take it very kindly, obviously, but I thought it was great.
Yeah. I do want to with this game, USA versus Sweden, I do want to give some props. Markstrom in net for Sweden. He made 38 saves on the game. That was that was not an easy win by any means for the United States. And Markstrom did a terrific job. The Swedish defense did a terrific job in keeping Sweden in that game the whole time. It could very easily have turned into a bit of a blowout, and instead Sweden almost pulled off the upset.
Oh, I was okay. This is the situation how I got to see this game. So I'm in the middle of working. I go out to my work vehicle. I pull up the Peacock app, and there's 5 minutes left. I'm like, yes, just hold on. 5 minutes to go. I have to run back inside the client's house. I left my phone in the car. I go back out, and in that amount of time, Mika Zibanejad ties the game for Sweden. And I'm thinking to myself, oh my God. I mean, I was kind of feeling a little sick to my stomach thinking, don't let it end this way. And we're able to get in the car, start driving. We're out kind of in the desert area today, so a lot of area didn't have great reception. And I'm able to watch it, and then it cuts out around the 7 30 mark or so left
Oh,
in overtime. And I'm like, oh crap. And then we make a couple of turns. The feed starts, it buffers and fixes itself. And right when Quinn Hughes takes that slap shot, and I hear it ping off the post into the net, and then Kenny Albert. I mean, gosh, that guy is fantastic at calling hockey games. He is. I love listening to him call these games, especially these international games.
he's been doing an excellent job. NBC as a whole has been doing a very good job with these. You remember they'd had the NHL for a not insignificant chunk of time. Eddie Olczyk is terrific on color. Kenny Albert, he's not Doc Emmerich, but he's phenomenal at calling the games. He does them his own way.
He does. He has his own style, and the way he just presents it, and he knows so many facts of information that he spits out there throughout the entire game. And then the emotion on that Quinn Hughes goal call tonight was you heard his voice crack a little bit. Not quite Al Michaels, but we're almost to that point. And if it does get to that point, just man, he's in line to have one of the greatest games called in American hockey history.
Yep. Now, before we get there, though, we still do have the semifinals that we have to get through, and a team that very nearly got shocked to not be there. Canada almost got upset out completely of this tournament. Canada was trailing in the third period with under 8 minutes to go in this one. What on earth happened today with Canada?
You know what? They started the game with a Celebrini goal, just another one of his incredible playoff or Olympic run that he has had his first year, 19 years old. He started the scoring, less than 4 minutes into the game. For Canada, and I'm like, oh no, Canada's going to go on. This is going to be a whitewash. Then Czechia comes back and scores 2 goals to go up 2-1 after the first. McKinnon ties it in the second. We go to the third, and Andre Palat scores with 7 minutes left in that game. And Canada is shitting bricks, right? I saw the guys on the bench kind of looked a little disheveled. The fans in the stands, which was primarily Canadian fans for that game, they were shocked as to what was going on. And then they pull the goalie, and Nick Suzuki scores with 3:29 left and sends that game into overtime as well. And then in overtime, Mitch Marner does his thing and gets the game winner with a Celebrini assist on that. But man, we could have lost the number 1 seed early today, and then that US game, they almost lost the number 2 seed. Can you imagine if they had both lost and not even advanced to the medal rounds?
Had Canada and US both failed to medal in these Olympics, it would have been a shock to the system for both programs. And it was, when David Pasternak scored, I saw this nugget. It was the first time that Canada has trailed in an Olympic game with NHL players in it.
Really?
Since 2010.
Wow.
They were with the NHL players, they've been on such a tear. They've been on such a roll with those guys. This was nearly historical. And we saw the quote. I don't know if you saw it. There was a quote from before today. It was from yesterday, where I forget who. I have to look it up. From Team Czechia had joked that we let Canada win the first round, and Canada had blown them out in the round robin round.
I think it was David Pasternak too who said that. He basically said, we let Canada beat us the first time because we knew we were going to play them again.
Yeah,
And
we knew
they
we couldn't beat
almost,
him twice, so
yeah,
we let them beat us so
and
that we could get him the
they
second time.
almost did. And geez, uh, I feel bad. Chechia, those guys, they played their butts off, and we're just mere minutes away of advancing and pulling off a pretty significant upset in these tournaments. And yeah, but the good teams overcome adversity and these obstacles, and we saw it both with Canada having to make a comeback, and then the U.S. they could have actually gone and lost that game in 5 minute span, but they did have the guts to come back out and win that game after blowing the lead late.
Yeah, and Canada not only having to come back, Canada had to come back without its captain. Sidney Crosby
Yeah,
goes down
true.
partway through the second period and did not return. I
Yeah.
have not seen an update on him if they're planning on having him in the semifinal round. I would imagine if he can, he will.
Oh, you got to believe Crosby's going to be dressing for that game. He did take a hit from Radko Gudas from the Anaheim Ducks and had a little right leg kind of buckled. Not as bad as what we saw, with Kevin Fiala and his nasty injury. But yeah, I think Sid is going to do whatever it takes to be in that lineup. Come on, Adam. I mean, they do have a day off. They don't play tomorrow, so that's an extra recovery day. Hoping that there's no significant damage, because if you lose, your captain like that, that's big.
Yeah, that is, and that's not the first injury it's not the first significant injury we've seen in these Olympics. That was a concern for years when it was the NHL wasn't allowing its players to go compete in the Olympics. That was one of the things we would hear. It would always be, the talk would be, of course, we don't want to disrupt our own season. You're losing 3 weeks of the season. You've got to make up that time because you've got to make up the games. We don't want the playoffs going all the way into July. So we've got to make that time up somewhere. And there's only so many weeks in the calendar. And then the other side is you don't want to see the players get hurt, while you don't want to see NHL players get hurt wearing sweaters other than NHL sweaters.
Yeah. We even talked about it in our preview, Adam, how, you got to make it out of this tournament without injury, especially some of those teams, like we mentioned, Colorado having a lot of their stars. They're the number 1 team in the NHL. If they were to lose one of their stars, what that could do for them. Unfortunately, it's one of the stars for the LA Kings, the team I root for, the team that just made that trade for Panarin. And, Kevin Fiala goes out, multiple fractures in that left leg. That's a leg that he fractured when he was with Nashville about 8 or 9 years ago. I hope he can make a recovery and could be back in. I don't think he'd be back this season. The Kings have put him on LTIR. If he makes it back for the playoffs, fantastic. I would like to see him back and healthy and able to play the game of hockey again. You don't want a career-ending injury coming at the hands of Tom Wilson, who's been known for,
some shady things.
Very, very shady things. And I mean, they say, their legs got mixed up or whatever, but it was the way he went down and the force after the cross check to the back of his leg. Well, Fiala was already on the ground, just made things worse. And Wilson's already a dirty player. But yeah, we talked about injuries and we did see him. And yeah, I would like to see, I haven't seen yet what's the latest with Crosby, but I'm sure tomorrow we'll have some more clarity as to where Sid's health is.
Yeah. But if you are Gary Bettman and the general managers of these NHL teams, this is in some way, this is your worst case scenarios. You're seeing two high profile NHL players go down. Do you think it affects things now? Always, things like this for participation in the Olympics, that's built into the collective bargaining agreement. I'm looking it up right now. If NHL is already.
Yeah. I think that's in the back of their minds, but at the same time, this is also promoting the game. It's promoting the stars. It's going to grow the league even more. So you have to think about it in dollars wise for the owners and Bettman, right?
Yeah.
And I guarantee you, if you ask the players, would they like to be back again in 4 years? They're all going to say, yeah. Right.
And they are committed. They are committed for 2030. Yeah. The NHL and the NHLPA, they are committed for Winter Olympics 2030 in France. But when this comes up in the CBA next, do you suppose it's something that ownership really tries to pull it back?
Maybe with some stipulations. Let's just say Tom Wilson's he had intent to injure Kevin Fiala. Now, could he face a suspension in the NHL for his penalty? That's where you have to think about something like that. Like if there's an injury that's caused with intent and that player loses significant amount of time for their respective club, the guy who committed the crime should pay as well, is what I should think. But I don't think with it being international, if the NHL can do anything like that. But that's something maybe to consider to put in the bylaws and the agreement is, carryover penalty wise.
Possibly. That would be some, obviously you'd get the union reps involved and you'd have some discussions there. I wouldn't be surprised if there'd be some pushback of penalizing a player for something they did when they were not a member of that team.
Yeah. But, I don't think so, but I mean, it could raise some questions, and for the safety of these guys that are going over there as well. Like, you don't want to lose. You fall, you get a shot to the face, or you get slashed or something like that, and you get an injury. It's all part of the game. But when there's malicious intent, that kind of thing could be questioned upon.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. And at the same time, I'm sure, do you now have a new favorite French hockey player now?
I do. I wish he would have beaten him a little bit more, but you know what? It wasn't even really the IIHF that suspended him. It was France, Hockey France was the ones who gave him the kibosh.
Yeah, Pierre Crenon of Team France fights Tom Wilson, and then it's the French Hockey Commission. Even said, no, we are banning him from the Olympics. That is totally. I
would have never seen anything from the French, right? We always thought the French were ones that would fold over and just.
Oh, they were getting crushed in that game anyway. By that point, it really didn't matter. But to go out and then just absolutely give it to Tom Wilson.
That was good.
Yep.
You know what? That's the stigma that Wilson carries. He's a heck of a player, very skilled. It's his first Olympic, but that's the kind of guy you get. You do have that nastiness, that lack of discipline with him as well. But I hopefully going forward, there's a few games left. Everybody comes out unscathed, and we can continue this tremendous NHL season and just fight to the finish. And speaking of finish.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the Finnish game today, real quick.
Yes, let's talk about Team Finland, because they were able to finish. They were able to finish. They came from behind and got the win today. They also advance into the semifinal round, so they will get the opportunity to play for a medal. It'll one of the two big ones, or a chance to win the bronze medal. But yes, Team Finland coming from behind this afternoon, and also going to overtime and getting the win, beating Switzerland 3-2 in this one. We had Sebastian Aho opening up the scoring, late scoring for Finland. I mean, Switzerland was up 2-0 in this one, 2-0 after one, and it was all the third period, and it was all late in the third period. We're talking the final 10 minutes of regulation that Aho and then Heiskanen getting those goals to force overtime before Laakkonen then gets the game winner. So Finland, very fortunate to be making it into the semifinal.
Yeah, that's that would have been a huge win for the for Switzerland. They had a really strong tournament. Roman Yossi was really good for them. Obviously, they lost Kevin Fiala, but I thought Swiss was going to be a tough out, and they were. Finland is a very good team, and I'm glad, like I said, that the U.S. avoids them in the semis, because I think they've got some pieces there. They've got scoring, they've got the defense, and good goaltending. Give them to Canada. Let Canada have their hands full.
Yes.
With Finland, and the U.S. can play Slovakia, which is a team that when we previewed, I said that could be a sleeper team. I didn't think they'd go this far and make it into the semis, but Slovakia, on the other hand, is playing great. And Juraj Slafkowski, man, if there was, the 3 stars of the tournament, which I don't know if they do or not.
No,
I know they have like the MVP of the tournament, or in soccer they have like the golden boot or something like that. But he's been tremendous for that team, and they really put the pedal down on Germany today. I didn't see this coming. I thought it was going to be a lot tighter of a game, but they jumped up to a 4-0 lead halfway through the second period, and that game was over for Germany.
Yeah. Slovakia came out strong. You had just an excellent start for Team Slovakia in that game, and then now they get the U.S. In the semifinal with a trip to the gold medal game on the line. How does that line up to you for Team USA in your mind? I still agree. I feel like this is, if you had to pick one of the two teams, either Finland or Slovakia for Team USA to have to face, I'd rather face Slovakia, but still.
100%.
This isn't one you can overlook.
No, not at all. And like I said, they were going to be a very exciting young team. And we saw that with what Pavel Regenda has done this tournament. He had 2 goals again today and an assist. He's, a prospect of the San Jose Sharks. Dalibor Dvorsky from the St. Louis Blues has been fantastic as well. And we talked about, what Slafkowski has done from Montreal. Other than that, they do have former player Thomas Tatar, but not much as far as NHL names go. And I think that the U.S. could take advantage of some of that weakness. I expect it to be a little bit of an easier game, maybe like a 4-1, a 4-2 type of game for the U.S.
Yeah, I agree. It's one, and then hopefully then you're able to kind of relax a little bit and get yourself into Sunday for the gold medal game.
Yeah.
And then on the other side, we've got Canada and Finland. Is there any chance for Finland to pull off the upset of upsets and wind up in the gold medal game?
I think there is. We've seen what UC Saros is capable of doing. He's been an elite NHL goaltender for a while. His game's kind of diminished a little bit, but he can easily steal a game. Canada had a tough time today against the Czechs, and I think Finland proposes even a bigger challenge to Canada, just because they do have the speed that can match up. The guys like Sebastian Aho and Teuvo Teravainen, Mikko Rantanen, Rope Hintz. They've got a lot of scoring, and then you've got all those Dallas Stars players like Miro Heiskanen and everybody else on defense. I am really excited to see what happens. Obviously, I want the Canada-US final, but don't count out Finland. I think they have probably about a 30% chance of coming away with the win.
It's especially in a single elimination tournament, never, ever, ever count anybody out.
No. I mean, you take a bad penalty here or there and somebody capitalizes on a power play. That could be the difference of you advancing and playing for the gold or not.
Yep. So I would not be upset to wind up with a USA Finland gold medal game on Sunday. I'll put it that way.
And the nice thing is too that the Canada Finland game is going to be the first of the scheduled games, and then the US is the second. So that way, US could see maybe who they're going to be going up against if they get past. But yeah, it's been a fantastic tournament, Adam. I love having the NHLers back. It's really made for a really good hockey tournament, and we're seeing the best guys in the world on display.
We are, and I'm glad to have it this way. It's what Olympic hockey, it's what men's Olympic hockey should be. The men's semifinals are on Friday, Canada versus Finland, 10:40 Eastern time, and then after that, USA versus Slovakia, 3:10 Friday afternoon Eastern time. And then Sunday is the big one, the gold medal game. The bronze medal game is also on Sunday. No, the bronze medal game for the men will be Saturday.
Yeah.
Will be Saturday afternoon, and then Sunday morning. Early morning. So get up bright and early, 8 o'clock Sunday morning, or
5 o'clock my time.
On
a Sunday
on the West Coast on the Sunday morning to watch.
Yeah, definitely.
To watch the gold medal game.
I'll be cooking breakfast that early, and it's so nice. I have all my smart lights synced up, and then I also have my sound bar synced up to when the Team USA scores, it activates my lights and they flash red and blue, and it plays Freebird and everything like that. So
there you go.
It's going to be going. I can't wait. I'm so excited. I hope it's US and Canada, and I think this is the team that can do it.
There we go. Well, we do have one other USA versus Canada game that we get to enjoy before that, though, and it is tomorrow, and it is for the gold. The women's gold medal game, USA versus Canada. We figured this is what it was going to be. We didn't necessarily think that maybe it would be under the circumstances that it is, but this is going to be a tremendous game tomorrow afternoon, and we are going to preview it next here on the Neutral Zone. Do not go anywhere. We'll be right back after this. Hi, eSports Radio fans. This show is brought to you by Planet Jerky Premium Brisket Beef Jerky. Planet Jerky is the official jerky of the 2022 California League champion Lake Elsinore Storm, single-A affiliate of the San Diego Padres. This all brisket jerky has gluten-free options, contains no MSG, no sodium nitrate, is low in sugar, and high in protein. Go to their website at planetjerky.net and follow them on Instagram at Planet Jerky. Planet Jerky, the jerky that's on a whole other planet.
Rise and shine. It's 4 a.m. The stars are still out. The sun is beneath the horizon, but it's time to punch in and go to work. The comfort of your warm-ups turns into the grinding out of your reps as the clinking and the clinking of the plates create a symphony of euphoria. There's no other feeling like it. Earn it, burn it, and take what's yours. IE Sports Radio has proudly partnered with Vital Apparel, a brand that not only fits great, but also promotes and donates to mental health research. Use our code IESR to get 15% off their comfortable and inspiring gym wear and help them on their amazing journey to support mental health. Go hard, take part in your iron therapy, and be strong. Because when your mental health is as strong as you are, there's no telling how far you'll go. For the last 10 years, IE Sports Radio has been bringing you amazing content ranging from interviewing legendary athletes, coaches, and other authorized media personnel to building tailor-made shows dedicated to all major sports cities around the country. Make sure to follow us at IE Sports Radio on X, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube to keep up with the latest in sports and with all of our shows. Also, make sure to check out our daily updated website at iesportsradio.com. At iesportsradio.com, you can see our daily show schedule and check out all of our show pages with personal bios to learn a little bit more about each of our awesome hosts. In addition to our show pages, you can catch the IE Sports Radio blog, Hall of Fame, Fans of the Month page, and our merchandise shop, including t-shirts, tank tops, caps, long sleeves, hoodies, and more. For now over a decade here at IE Sports Radio, we've continued to be by the fans, for the fans, and we thank you all for your support and for making IE Sports Radio your direct feed for all that is sports.
And welcome back on into the neutral zone here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. He is Freddie. I am Adam. Together we do this thing every Wednesday night. So glad that you are here with us. Talked all about the men's tournament in the first half of the show. We've got a gold medal game tomorrow afternoon, though, and it is the matchup in women's hockey.
It is
USA versus Canada. Aaron Frankel versus Marie-Philippe Poulin and Sarah Nurse and Hillary Knight. All the stars are out for this. We got a teaser of it in the round robin, in the group play. We got to see US versus Canada. US crushed Canada, one of their multiple 5-0 victories that Team USA has had in this tournament. Team USA, you brought it up and you brought it up a little earlier tonight. This is a question that I don't think we truly can answer until next week because we have to see tomorrow first, in my opinion.
right.
But this Team USA, this might be the best Olympic team we have seen in hockey.
Tomorrow's game will determine that, in my opinion. So far, yes, the most dominant Team USA hockey team I've ever seen on the women's side. I know we've had some really great ones in the past, and I think what we've seen out of this group of women is something magical. Again, Canada could take that Czechia philosophy and said, oh yeah, we know we're going to play them a second time later on. We're not going to show them everything, but US, dominated that game early in the tournament 5-0. And that was just one of the many shutouts that Team USA has had in this tournament. I'm excited, Adam. I really think the game is going to be a little bit tighter, but I'm not going to be upset if USA just does what they've done already this tournament and continues that and just ends this tournament on the highest of highs.
Yeah, that first matchup, it did kind of have a feel a little bit like USA got out to a strong lead, and Canada kind of got the feeling earlier that, okay, tonight's not our night. This isn't it. This is not the end all be all. We don't have to have this game. So let's make sure we get out of this healthy and we get out of here and on we go. I'm positive Canada did not enjoy being shut out for the first time in Olympic history. So there will be a chip there. And keep in mind, there was no Marie-Philippe Poulin in the group play game. She had been injured. They kept her out to make sure that they had her for this game, for this gold medal game. So you're now seeing a 100% healthy Team Canada, which is different from what we had back in the first game in group play last week. That being said, over 330 minutes without allowing a goal. This Team USA, and in every single game in this tournament, they have scored at least five goals. That is incredible.
They did put up that 6-0 shutout in their first game. Was a 5-1 win, but outscoring the opposition 31-1, I think it is.
Yeah,
Adam, simply remarkable. They're getting it on every side of the ice. They're getting it offensively, defensively, and obviously in net. And Aaron Frankel, the U.S. goalie tandem has been fantastic. We know Aaron Frankel, what she's done with Boston. We've talked about it all the time, and I will continue to give her praise on how great of a goalie she is. And she can go down as one of the best ever if she can pull this and continue and hold Canada off the score sheet tomorrow. You mentioned Marie-Philippe Poulin, who was injured the first time they played. She was hurt in that game against Czechia and missed that game. She ended up scoring the last game that they played against Switzerland, and she ended up breaking Haley Wickenheiser's all-time record for goals scored by a woman in the Winter Olympics. So you don't want to get her on a hot streak.
No, we've got two of the highest scorers ever in women's Olympic. You've got Marie-Philippe Poulin. She is the all-time 20 goals
now. Yep.
She is the all-time. Hillary Knight on the U.S. is the highest American women's goal scorer in Olympic history. She's at 14.
Yeah. And congratulations to Hillary Knight, announcing her engagement this morning as well to speed skater Brittany Bowe. And fantastic for the two of them. And what a magical moment it will be to cap it off with a gold medal.
You think there was deliberate to have it the day before the gold medal game? Take a little pressure off, you think?
Yeah, Bowe didn't medal in these games, but Hillary Knight would be fantastic if she can come away with that gold. And I mean, like you said, I don't think Team USA has much weakness on that women's side, Adam. Canada does hold a 5-2 record against the US in gold medal games, and
including just last time.
Yeah,
including just 4 years ago.
Yeah, 7-4 all time against the US in the Olympics, and 5-2 in gold medal games. And I think it's going to change. Caroline Harvey is having a fantastic run for the U.S. right now. She leads all of the U.S. women with 9 points in the tournament. And Hannah Bilka, Megan Keller, they're all doing really well. They're getting contributions from everybody. And I thought maybe, their lack of I don't know how to say it. I mean, they weren't as polished, I don't think, as the Canadian team was. Maybe not as much experience, especially when it came to the Olympics. A little bit younger of a roster, but they're flourishing Fantastic. I can't. This is must-see TV. If you're a hockey fan or not, this is a great game to watch. And like we said before, all of these women, basically, except for a handful, are playing in the pro women's hockey league right now, the professional women's hockey league. So when you're done with this tournament and you find that you like watching the women's game, continue to watch the PWHL throughout the remainder of their season as well.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, it's everybody on Team USA is playing. That is on Team USA is in the PWHL.
Yeah.
All but one member of Canada is in the PWHL.
Okay.
Though there's one member of Canada who she's still in college, so she's not eligible to be in the PWHL yet.
Yeah.
That's the only thing stopping her. But yeah, the depth of scoring that we're getting from Team USA. My sister follows the Seattle Torrent, one of the new expansion teams in the PWHL this year. They have 4 representatives on Team USA. All 4 of them have scored in this tournament. You're getting scoring from every level, every line, every defensive pairing in this tournament for Team USA.
Yeah.
And you brought up how relatively inexperienced they are in a setting like this in the Olympics. And look at how much success they're having.
Yeah.
In France, 4 years from now, they could be absolutely untouchable.
They'll be the world's number 1 team for sure if they can come away with the gold and then continue with these players. They haven't had to rely upon Hillary Knight or Kendall Coyne Schofield or Alex Carpenter as much, with the youth really stepping up their game. I've talked about it before. Abby Murphy is a fun girl to watch out on the ice. She is so scary with or without the puck. Just watch her skate up and down the ice. Keep an eye on her tomorrow. I think she's going to make a big play and put this game in the U.S. favor. Yeah,
but Canada is still, you cannot overlook them. You just can't. It's they're still, until you it's until you beat them in the gold medal game, you haven't really beat them.
And the thing that the one downside is for the U.S., they haven't really had any adversity that they've had to overcome so far in this tournament. Every game has been handedly played, and if they were to fall down, and trail this game 1-0, or, God forbid, they go down multiple goals, can they have that fortitude to, and that resilience to battle back and fight hard? They haven't had to face that adversity. Canada already has. They have a loss. They've seen what the U.S. is capable of. And I think we're just in for a super treat.
Yeah.
Super treat tomorrow.
It's going to be an absolutely phenomenal game. 1:00 on the East Coast tomorrow afternoon. 10 o'clock out west. This is my sister and I have been texting back and forth about it. We both keep reminding ourselves, no, we have to be responsible adults. We can't call in sick tomorrow.
Yes, of course you can.
I can't pull my daughter out of school for this one. But it is going to be, I get home from work tomorrow and it's all right. Boom, boom, boom. Here we go. Get the game on. Here we go. Let's watch this so that we can experience it. It is going to be a phenomenal game.
Yeah. You're gonna remember, if you have the ability of watching this with your daughter, Adam, this is going to be memorable for her as she grows up and continues, her love of hockey. She's already out there skating. She loves her Blackhawks and Connor Bedard. And now she sees what this women's team could do. This, for her, can be something that could catapult her and her passion for the love of the sport and, continue. Yeah. This is awesome.
We've been following it. We've been tracking it. She and I, we've been having a lot of fun with that. She is ready to go for this game tomorrow. We are going to be, it's going to be one of the rare times that it's okay, honey. You can stay up late because Daddy's going to get home from work and we're going to watch the game and then you'll get to go to bed.
Yeah. The one thing I didn't know about before, and I wish there was, the women's side did it the same as the men's, is they reseeded everybody after the tournament. So the U.S. finished number 1 in their group, but they had to play Sweden, who finished number 1 in their group. Number 1 shouldn't have to have played that early in the knockout stage. I thought that Canada was going to have to go through Sweden, but they didn't have to. So U.S. has had to play, I think, a little bit of a more difficult schedule leading up. And if this game does go to overtime, it will be 20 minutes of 3-on-3 instead of the 10 that we saw from the men's today. The men's will play 20 minutes in the gold medal game as well, if it does come down to that for a 3-on-3 overtime.
That's an excellent reminder. Yeah, 20 minutes of 3-on-3. I can't fathom playing 3-on-3 for 20 minutes. That's so much ice, even with this rink being shortened accidentally. That's so much ice you've got to cover.
Both games today, were 10-minute periods as well, but they were both ended quite early in them. If I don't know when exactly the Canada goal came, but I think all of them came pretty early. It really comes down to puck possession, winning that opening face-off, maintaining puck possession. You don't want to turn over the puck, lead to an on-bad rush going the other way, because that's where you can lose it. But yeah, I'm excited, Adam. I think we've seen a lot of special things from this team, and I can't wait.
Yeah, Mitch Marner scored. It was 1 minute and 22 seconds into overtime.
Ian,
to win that one for Canada today.
So all of them are done
for the U.S. Jack Hughes scored 3.5 minutes, 3 minutes and 27 seconds into it. So yeah, when it's 3-on-3, it doesn't take much to get that goal. There's a reason why the NHL just kind of caps it at 5 minutes, because when it's 3-on-3, you don't normally need a ton of time. It's you miss a shot, it's a breakaway, and then look out. Then it's just all hands on deck at that point, and you're gonna see something special, something crazy. But it is setting up for an absolutely electric weekend of hockey. We've got the women's gold medal game tomorrow afternoon. We've got then the men's semifinals on Friday, followed by the men's bronze medal game Saturday, and then the men's gold medal games Sunday morning. A ton of great hockey to get into in the Olympics. This is it. This is the time to get in.
Yeah, this is it. And I think that the U.S., even though Canada is the more experienced team, I think the youth and veteran leadership and the fantastic goaltending that the U.S. has had so far is going to lead them to gold and being on top of that podium, playing Freebird tomorrow for sure, and just carry over. And I like to see, and what I saw earlier in the tournament, as well as you saw the Kachuk brothers and some of the other guys from Team USA supporting the women's game as well. So I think we'll see some of those guys in attendance tomorrow. And what better way to represent your country than to root on your fellow, women's hockey team?
Absolutely. Root on your fellow country women and cheer them on and fill the arena, fill that up, make it loud, make it proud in there. And we'll hopefully we see some gold medals around Team USA tomorrow and on Sunday.
Yes, sir.
Looking
forward to it.
All righty. And then next week we'll get to break it all down and let everybody know how it all went down. And hopefully we're talking about 2 separate gold medal championships.
Yeah. Yeah. And, the NHL will kick back off next week as well. They start teams were able to practice starting just the other day. So teams are getting back in shape. We'll have NHL kicking off. So there's not going to be any delay of hockey coverage coming up. We'll have the gold medal recaps, and we'll dive right back into the stretch run of this fantastic NHL season.
Absolutely. That's going to be for next week, though. Well, that is going to do it for our show here tonight. Woo! Hope we got you excited. Hope we got you prepped. Hope we got you ready for it. Going to be a lot of excellent hockey to watch the next couple of days. Some big shout outs and thank yous before we get out of here. Thank you to Planet Jerky Premium Brisket Beef Jerky, the jerky that's on a whole other planet. Go to planetjerky.net to place your order. When you do, they offer free shipping on all orders of $50 and above. Thank you also to Vital Apparel, the brand that not only fits great, but also promotes and donates to mental health research. When you go to vitalapparel.com, use the promo code IESR and you get 15% off of your order. Be sure to follow along with IE Sports Radio on your favorite social media platforms. We are on Twitter, we are on TikTok, we are on YouTube at IE Sports Radio. And you can also check out the website, iesportsradio.com, for the latest in news across the station and catch up on prior episodes of the shows. This show is also available for you on Twitter. We are at IESR Neutral Zone. He is at Freddie B _sports. I am at Adam _Karnik. Thank you to Larry B, the czar and overlord of all things IE Sports Radio, for allowing us to do this crazy thing every Wednesday night. Thank you to all 276 people watching the show tonight. We appreciate your attendance. And we also want to say thank you to everybody who's watching the show later on YouTube or on the website as a podcast. We appreciate that as well. Next week, we will be breaking down the end of the Olympic tournaments, who got the golds, what happened in the games. We'll break all that down. We'll also reset up the NHL and PWHL seasons as they get ready to go into their stretch runs. For IE Sports Radio, he is Freddie B. I am Adam Karnik. We will see everybody next Wednesday night. Have a great one.
Good night, everyone. Go USA.